flight. Thankfully there's a group of rich kids who think he's cool and are also going to London on their private plane, so they bring him along. During the flight, George can see the damage caused by the bomb. Suddenly he wakes up and is at home with Sarah, but the building starts shaking and another explosion brings it all down. Then George wakes up again and realizes it was a dream. When George returns to the office, he claims that when he cracked the code he called the office to warn Wes, but Shiv answered and manipulated him with lies. He even gives Wes Shiv's phone to prove his story. Next George asks Archie about the consequences of the bomb, but the explosion only killed around a couple hundred people. It's not enough to start a war, so a time reset won't be happening. George is devastated because it means he's killed people for nothing, not to mention a new checkpoint is approaching and he won't be able to revive Sarah after they reach it. Meanwhile Wes checks Shiv's phone and finds the messages George sent pretending to be him, which further proves his story. To be sure, she confirms with Dennis that the code word is the same. Then she takes George with her to visit the Russian ambassador to make sure the bomb was a rebel going wild and not a political attack. Refusing to give up, George later calls the ambassador and informs her that the British are involved in the attack, telling her where to find the farmhouse with the car and Shiv's body. A few hours later, George visits the ambassador, who confirms they've found the body. However, the ambassador doesn't want to start a war based on so little and asks him to go to Russia to present better intel. Getting desperate, George shoots the ambassador, all the agents, and her husband, but leaves the son alive to force him to press the panic button. Moments later, an alarm goes off at Lazarus because Russia is sending missiles. Wes has no choice but to reset time, even if it means losing Dennis. After a series of visions, George wakes up in bed with Sarah, clinging to her in joy. Dennis is free and rushes to hide, while Shiv is also back and remembers everything. Archie tries to call Shiv to demand an explanation, but he's eager for revenge and ignores her. Soon Shiv makes it to George's building, but George is already waiting for him with a gun on the stairs. George explains the things he did to make Shiv look guilty, so Shiv decides to leave without shooting George because it would only make him look worse. The next day, George drops